Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour has managed to just about at present break its way back above this pretty important resistance area. Old support, new resistance, nicely above it at the moment. Obviously nicely above it compared to how far we've come. Obviously only just above it in reality, but it is pretty a good move. It's a good move in the context of the short term. However, we would obviously need to look at the larger time frame, as we can see, and this isn't even the even larger time. This isn't even the long time frame. This is more just a medium time frame. You can see it's not massively relevant. We're still going to get back over some more important levels. Obviously, this is the first one, but getting back above this $22,000 level would then kind of put us in the region, give us a chance of breaking above the next levels up towards 30,000. Obviously anywhere within this region below 22,000, and yeah, I mean it would be prime for a rejection and then come back lower, take out this low and come obviously down to some of the next levels of support. But nonetheless is a good move at the moment. Pretty much one, maybe two entities transferred nearly $100 million worth of tether to spot exchanges. And they are obviously, that's probably who's bought this market up here. But yeah, it's good to see this move, because obviously if we do look at the S&P, it is an absolute dire straits at the moment. If you want to look at our relative recent equivalent levels, it is actually around this $3,900 level in the S&P, which is equivalent to this $20,000 level in Bitcoin. So the fact that we are miles away from that in the S&P, but actually above it in Bitcoin, just speaks to the relative strength we are experiencing in this short time frame of Bitcoin. But yeah, anyway, let's go and have a look at some of the charts after we finish with this one. I mean, S&P looking extremely dicey down here. No real acceleration off this low. No real break above this support level. No break back above this support level. So this is just looking like it's just sat on the edge of a cliff, isn't it? Waiting for that little push. At present though, the DXY, which will certainly give it that little push. I mean, I don't even want to. I mean, yeah, we've clearly got a bull flag forming here. We had a bull flag here, broke up, and we've got another bull flag. We will just draw an extrapolation, because at the end of the day, anything can happen in this ridiculous market. So we'll draw this bull flag roughly to see where it's gonna get us if it breaks up. Let's just straighten this out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, 116 on the DXY. If this breaks to the upside, I mean, if that happens, that is going to most certainly be the shove that is going to push the S&P off that cliff. And it is, to be honest, it is very difficult to see Bitcoin stay above 20,000 in that scenario. All I will say is that, honestly, Finance 1.0 to me has never looked so bad, so on the ropes. So I mean, there has got to be a on the margins, and remember, prices is always set by the action at the margins. There's got to be some sort of buy-in of crypto, in case there's just the chance that the current financial system, banking and payment system goes. I mean, yeah, it's all well and good having gold and silver, but you've literally got to have the physical gold and silver, and then it's difficult to actually trade or transact with that, especially over longer distances. But if you have crypto, at least you do have an independent payment mechanism. So, I mean, without sounding like a crypto loony, because this is the sort of thing that crypto lunatics say. I mean, I'm only entertaining that fact, that potential scenario, just because Finance 1.0 is looking absolutely dire. Like it's looking dire. I mean, look at the 10-year as well. Is easing off a little bit, which like I showed in the DXY, easing off a little bit. However, if it then takes its next leg up, if this 10-year then takes its next leg up, then yeah, I mean, then there you go. there you go, we are going to be onwards and upwards. Yeah, what else do we want to look at on here? Yeah, the Ethereum USD pairing, it did manage to get supported at this important support level. Is a long way from hitting, from making any progress above next important levels. Yeah, a long way to go. I mean, we can draw a horizontal area of resistance in here. Obviously, it would be nice to see it reclaim that level. We'll just draw this in, yeah, just roughly around here. So probably the next real target. It's probably a bit of a zone actually, as it usually is. Hard to pinpoint. You can't really pinpoint exact numbers, but yes, the low end of that resistance coming in around 1430. So not too far away. But if we can get above that, get above 1470. Then yeah, I mean, we do open up nearly 1600 basically, and then it could start to try and repair this chart. This could obviously be a higher low relative to these lows here, and then ultimately the main test is going to be getting above this resistance area and getting above these highs here of around 1800. If we do that, obviously we would have broken the lower highs and lower low trend. So yeah, I mean, the trend is your friend and it is clearly still down, so yeah, let's bear that in mind. The Ethereum Satoshi pairing, just not doing a lot really, hovering down here, is looking like a potential bear flag. We'll have to see if it does break down, but yeah, potential bear flag. If it did break down, I mean, the next levels are going to be like this 0.06. However, I have mentioned this is probably an important level for us to hold here. And I mean, if we do see markets at least recover slightly, you would expect Ethereum, which has been beaten down pretty aggressively against Bitcoin, to potentially catch a bid against Bitcoin, and then get a nice bit of acceleration to the upside. That is if we are to see some potential risk on. What else do we look at? Yeah, oil still sub 80, so I'm sure obviously that means the US is buying and buying and buying, because they basically said they were going to buy at 80. So yeah, but it is sub 80, so clearly they're not actually buying that much. There are obviously the usual, not the usual, but the usual conspiracies that are probably not conspiracies that you get in in the gold and silver markets, where they literally get smashed at a certain time each day. Obviously by the futures contracts, the paper futures contracts get smashed, manipulating that price down. There was a time as well when there was a big buyer of the S&P futures. They would just come in and lift the market all the time, and the market wasn't looking that great. And then now there is a lot of people saying they are witnessing the same in the oil market. There is a seller coming in exactly the same time every day in the US open times, and smashing oil down every single day, same time. So yeah, I mean, that's one way to curb inflation. Just print some fake fantasy money and then smash some fantasy oil contracts down to actually influence the real price. Let's get that tail wagging that dog, and we can live in fully manipulated markets in a completely obscured reality. Isn't that nice? And then we can keep the fiat Ponzi system going. The rich can stay rich and powerful, keep getting rich and powerful. Everyone else can keep suffering more and more. The wealth inequality can just increase, and then yeah, everybody that matters is happy, and obviously that is not us. We don't matter, so it doesn't matter that we're not happy. But yeah, anyway, the system is in a bit of a mess at the moment. There's all sorts of rampant manipulation everywhere, as literally you just have to expect. The inmates are in control of the asylum now, so to speak. Bitcoin dominance on that pump did take a nice big move up into our resistance area. So I mean, is this going to play higher? Is this going to move higher? It could do. I don't actually mind, being an altcoin aficionado, I don't actually mind Bitcoin dominance going up if it is going up on the back of Bitcoin itself going up, because ultimately Bitcoin will then top out and then altcoins will then catch a bid. It is better this way than Bitcoin dominance going up whilst Bitcoin is going down, as is usually the case, at which case obviously that's not good. Not good. It's like a double whammy obviously for altcoins, as you understand. They're going down in fiat, and then also going down in crypto and Bitcoin value as well. I mean, there's not much else to say. Look at, things are a mess. Jerome Powell speaking today. I mean, I personally can't see he could say anything that's going to further pump these markets. I mean, they are literally sat at basically major support, where If they lose this level, then we are done. Let's have a look at some other ones as well. Let's look at Nasdaq. Yeah, I mean, it's similarly very close to the lows. I don't know where my annotations have gone for this, but yeah, Nascoin is pretty close to these lows here. And the Dow's taken it out anyway, so Dow has taken out that low, so this is also looking pretty dire as well. So I mean, yeah, I mean, just what more does he want? What more does he want? The crazy thing about it is that obviously this inflation is getting pretty much caused by supply chain issues and making everyone, and obviously the Fed can influence demand, but that is not necessarily gonna do anything to the supply chain. It's just gonna just reduce demand basically, and you could argue that the supply chains are pretty much wrecked, not just because of COVID, but just because of a misallocation of capital. Because of obviously the Fed having rates too low and people putting funds into things that aren't profitable, just with the hope of being profitable in the future, rather things that are profitable now, and then potentially not so profitable in the future, obviously with this whole ESG thing. So real things that are profitable now and not profitable in the future being underinvested, and things that are not profitable now but potentially profitable in the future, of which is getting proven wrong for almost all cases now. They did rally, so they're just a massive misallocation of capital. So on that vein of that reasoning, does then obviously increasing the cost of capital, so then there's no allocation of capital anywhere. Is that then going to alleviate the problem caused by misallocations of capital? Most certainly not. It can only exacerbate it. So I mean, the Fed likes to talk about tools. I mean, they basically have the tool of what the Fed's fund rate is, and then they just have the tool of just basically buying and doing whatever they want, manipulating whatever market they want. So they don't obviously actually say that that is the tool they have, or when they do basically exercise that tool, they just give it like an alphabet soup name program, and then just hide the fact of what they're literally doing. It's just trying to reinflate a Ponzi. But yeah, there's obviously going to be swaps. Currency swaps that the Fed is going to do and try and not tell anyone about, just to re-liquefy the market. I mean, one of its main allies over here in the UK, the US, the pound, the UK pound, absolutely trolled. I mean, obviously something's going to have to happen here. There are actually talks of a inter meeting, so like a unannounced rate hike, just to try and save the pound. It's just intriguing, isn't it? If that has to happen. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like I said though, I mean, this isn't just like a country that America doesn't really care about. This is the UK. So whilst it's not important in the overall economy, the Fed is going to be getting pressured from just even more angles now. It has to basically re-liquefy the markets. This DXY move, this obviously collapse of everything against the dollar, is purely brought off the back of the fact there's no dollar liquidity in the market. So there is a fight for dollars, which is then obviously increasing the demand for dollars and therefore the price of dollars. And yeah, I mean, you cannot taper Ponzi. This market needs liquidity if you want it to carry on in any way, shape or form that it has in the past. Then there has to be more liquefaction. If not, it's done. It's basically done. Financial institutions will just go bust. The system will freeze up, and then and then enter crypto stage left. We shall, and then we'll see what happens then. But anyway, let's look at stochastics here. 4 hour still pointing up, pre-elevated, but still pointing up. 10 hour pointing up, 12 hour pointing up in the bullish zone now, and got all the bullish area to run into, so that could certainly support price action. Daily turn up for a nice low level as well, can certainly support price action. 2 day turning back up, 3 days pointing down though. 5 day has turned back up here, which is a good important one to look at. Weekly also turned back up. Bi-daily down there, and then monthly not turned back up yet, but at some point in a couple of months this could potentially turn back up, maybe 2, maybe 3 months, if we do hold above 20k pretty much. But yeah, stochastics are not looking good, a lot looking bad, sorry. Are we going to finally get that decent medium term bounce that no one's realistically going to be expecting or calling for? that could take us, basically take us, let's just zoom out a bit here, that basically could take us up towards this is pretty important 30k resistance, and then we just got to decide what we do at 30k. Do we manage to break above there, hold above there, and continue on upwards, or is it just a big rejection there and then come back down, take out these lows, and then continue lower? But if there was ever a time that potentially I could see 30k on the cards based on the stochastic read and just generally price action, what has been going on, how extreme things have got in Finance 1.0, that I mean something has to be done. In which case it is going to obviously temporarily help markets. Is pretty much now, so we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, that is it, guys. Thanks for listening. Apologies for the slightly rambling longer video this morning, but yeah, remember, this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.